Good morning students. Today we will discuss about problems in implementation of the policies with reference to access, enrollment, retention and quality in education. In India, the base of democracy is education. It is the education which develops the true vision of a democracy. In democracy, to get education is the right of everybody. Education is the fundamental right of the individual, irrespective of caste, creed, color, race, habitation, and socio-economic status. Attempts for providing primary education to all children of primary school going age group is not new in India. Sincere effort and commitment to provide free and compulsory education to mass, starting with all the children of primary school age group, has been the target of the Indian government after achieving independence. Article 45 of the Indian Constitution states that the state shall endeavour to provide within a period of 10 years from the commencement of this Constitution for free and compulsory education for all children until they complete the age of 14 years. As per the constitutional directive by the country by 1950, after completion of 1 decade from the date of adoption of the constitution in 1950, but by the date of 2010, when 6 decades have already been passed, the goal of universalization of elementary education has not been achieved. Besides this provision and stipulation, the Constitution has also specific provisions for the backward and weaker section of the community and also for women. In general, the constitutional provisions regarding education in general are: in Indian society, women were neglected for a long time, so the Constitution writes, the state shall not discriminate any citizen on ground only of sex. That is said on Article 51. On the policy of religious neutrality, the Constitution states, no religious instruction shall be provided in educational institution wholly maintained out of state fund. Article 28(1). In respect of educational grants, the Constitution lays down, the state shall, in granting aid to educational institutions, discriminate against any educational institution on the ground that it is under the management of a minority, whether based on religion or language. It writes that Article 30. The state should take direct responsibility of providing minimum education to all people. In this regard, the Constitution states, the state shall endeavour to provide within a period of 10 years from the commencement of this Constitution for free and compulsory education for all children until they complete the age of 14 years. Article 45. For equity and social justice, the state should take educational responsibility of the weaker sections of the society. In this regard, the Constitution observes, the state shall promote with special care the educational and economic interest of the weaker sections of the people, and in particular of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. In Indian Constitution, the Union list contains 97 areas of work, of which 7 are related to education. The central government is empowered to enact laws on this subject. The state list relates to 66 subjects, of which 2 are concerned with education. The state government is authorized to enact laws on this subject. The concurrent list contains 47 subjects on which both the state and central government are authorized to enact laws. In case of conflict, the central government will prevail. Thus, in modern India, the state has not been solely entrusted with the educational responsibility. In context of universalization of elementary education, the 93rd Amendment of the Constitution also relates to provision of compulsory primary schooling to the children of the age group 6 to 14 years. The central government as well as the state has been trying hard to achieve the goal, but the constitutional directive has not yet been realized because of the number of problems and issues. These problems has been discussed. The problem of universalization of elementary education has three dimensions, namely universality of access, universality of retention, and universality of achievement. The problems of universalization of elementary education has three dimensions, namely universality of access, universality of retention, and universality of achievement. The universality of access refers to universalization of the necessary provisions of schooling facilities as well as effective utilization of such provisions. It has two considerations, that is universality of provision and universality of enrollment. Universality of provision refers to the provision of primary and upper primary schooling facilities within the walking distance of children from their home. In spite of larger rate of expansion of schooling facilities, all the revenue villages of the state have not been provided with primary schooling facility. The alternative arrangement for primary educational facilities in the thinly populated villages, alternative arrangement have been made like Education Guarantee Scheme EGS and Alternative and Innovative Education Scheme AIES. Implementation of such educational schemes have also been considered essential to meet the requirement of non-school goers or non-starters in education as well as the dropout of primary and upper primary schools. As per the constitutional commitment, all children in the age group of 6 to 14 years, irrespective of their caste, creed, color, religion, sex, etc., are to be enrolled in primary and upper primary classes. Therefore, the universalization of elementary education refers to enrollment of all children in the age group of 6 to 14 years in primary and upper primary schools. Then retention in the context of UEE refers to the number of students retained at the end of class 8 out of the total students enrolled in class 1. At present, there is no failure of students at the primary schooling level because of no detention policy adopted by the state government. Since there is no question of stagnation of students, the phenomenon and wastage in education is mainly due to dropout of students at different classes of the elementary level of education. Then education is the means for achieving national development. In order to achieve the national development to the desired level, the country must have to emerge as an enlightened society. It must strive towards an educated and learning society. For realization of the objective in this regard, provision of elementary education to all citizens of the country, irrespective of caste, creed, color, sex, and other possible variations in most, and universalization of elementary education is the initial footstep in this respect. So, there is a clear-cut commitment in the Constitution of the Indian Republic. The country must have to fulfill the constitutional commitment for creating an educated society. The country has to take care of elementary education program for its citizens. There are some major causes confronted in the process of achieving universalization of elementary education. So, all the problems in implementation of the policies with reference to the access, enrollment, retention and quality in education are discussed. The first one is educational cause. Educational cause relate to low quality of instruction, irrelevant nature of curriculum, inadequate infrastructure facilities, and lack of timely supervision and timely guidance to teachers, etc. Next one is social cause. Various social causes such as the superstitious beliefs among the people, literacy among the parents, inferiority complex among the lower caste groups, age factors of girls, and the practice of their early marriage in some communities, communal difference, lack of school community relationship create obstacles in realizing the goal of universalization of elementary education. Next one is economic cause. There are also economic reasons which stand obstacles in achieving universalization of early elementary education. The economic reasons include the poor financial status of the parents, low qualities of infrastructural facilities, low expenditure, inadequate funds, etc. The next one is administrative cause. Most of the administrative cause is related to teaching and supervision issue and absenteeism of teachers, irregularity in placement of teachers, mismanagement of midday meal program in some cases, absence of co-curricular activities in schools due to paucity of funds, not utilization of the availability resource of the community, defective practice of pupil evaluation followed in school and the like. It is gratifying to note that there are many steps have been taken by the government. Lot of new innovative programs are going on for achieving the success, but more is required to be done. Truly, the problem of non-achievement of universalization is very much complicated. Its causes are interwoven with each other. Some measures needed for that implementation. It is seen that the objective of universalization of elementary education are being achieved gradually, but the rate of achievement in respect of different aspects like conditions necessary for providing access the elementary education, increasing enrollment of students in primary and upper primary schools, enhancing the retention of students are gradually improving at a slower rate. Some of the major steps needed for implementation in this context are discussed. First one is improving the conditions of accessibility, enrollment and retention. Universalization of elementary education denotes mainly two processes, access and success. Access means universal provision and enrollment of children in the age group of 6 to 14. They should have access to elementary education irrespective of caste, creed, religion, sex and socio-economic status. But along with access, we should take necessary steps for success of all the enrolled students. Each learner is expected to achieve this success within an approved span of year. In this context, step has been taken by way of opening more and more schools in different parts of the state as well as in remote, tribal and rural areas. Alternative and Innovative Education AIE have been launched to meet the educational needs of the dropouts of the formal primary schools, freshers of non-starters educational needs, of the dropout the formal primary schools, and such innovative non-formal approaches are also very much needed to meet the educational requirement of the children of migrating families through bridge courses or any other suitable modalities like back to school camp, summer camp, strategies for adolescent girls, residential camp and the like. These schemes need to be operated on a wider scale as needed in different parts of the state where there is no possibility of opening formal primary school due to stipulations made in norms for their opening. The next one is quality improvement in education. There is also need for taking measures for the quality improvement of primary education. For quality improvement, attempts have been made in the past through various innovative educational projects like Primary Education Curriculum Renewal (PECR), Development Activities in Community Education and Participation (DACEP), Comprehensive Access to Primary Education (CAPE), Area Intensive Education Project (AIEP), Operation Blackboard (OB), and Sarva Shiksha Abhijan (SSA) programs and many others. The District Primary Education Program (DPEP) with financial and technical support of the World Bank with the sole objective of quality improvement of primary education has been launched since 1996. This program is primarily designed to accelerate the program of universalization of primary education by way of enhancing enrollment, retention and the level of students' educational attainment. Certain innovative educational programs of DPEP are now in operation. Previously, there was a program called Operation Blackboard which was implemented in the state, but it has been abolished and another innovative program of education for all, Sarva Shiksha Abhijan, is now in operation to enhance the capacity for participation in effective school management and protection of right of children, to improve performance of teachers and the use of interactive teaching methods, and to improve the social conditions which affect the attendance and performance of school children. There is also low quality of instructional facilities in primary schools, which are supplemented by the factors like poor quality of teachers with low level of teaching competence and lack of adequate content knowledge in the subject of teaching. These are also because of wrong procedures in most of the cases adopted for recruitment of teachers. The process of their selection gives almost least emphasis on the interest, aptitude, and other personal characteristics as considered essential for the teaching profession. However, attempts are being taken for effective training of teachers and proper recruitment to the teaching profession. For proper recruitment of the teachers, our state government is taking necessary steps and initiative in this regard. The situation is gradually changing because of the adaptation of innovative examination like Odisha Teacher Eligibility Test (OTET) for primary education and Odisha Secondary School Teachers Eligibility Test (OSSTET) for secondary education conducted by the Board of Secondary Education of Odisha. Further, there are also provisions for entrance examination for the entry in the pre-service education program. The teachers are also recruited on probation basis. During the probation period, their zeal, interest in the profession, and the abilities in class and school management, organizing co-curricular activities, community participation, etc., are to be accelerated from time to time for their continuance in job. Now the teachers are being oriented and trained for teaching as per the changed curricular and also to follow innovative practice in teaching methods. But the expected changes in the system are not spectacular because of various reasons like defective follow-up action, lack of effective supervision and monitoring, lack of accountability on the part of teachers, supervisors, administrators and the like. The pre-service training program need to be more rigorous with greater emphasis on development of their professional competencies and qualities. The role of local bodies is no less important in respect of spreading universal elementary education. No program of quantitative expansion of elementary education can be successful unless it is accompanied by suitable and effective programs of qualitative improvement.